I'm going to be speaking about something that is not on the agenda for once. It's a big national thing that affects me too. It's about the Roe v. Wade, and the possible overturn is more than just abortions. When people talk about abortions, one of the talking points is to note that men shouldn't be regulating women's bodies, and I agree. In fact, I stand in defense of the rights of female bodily autonomy 100%. Meanwhile, an overturn of Roe v. Wade and Casey v. Planned Parenthood, putting the ability for abortion access to be determined by states, is going to do more than trigger abortion bans. We've already seen some states, all of them apparently controlled by Republicans, come out more and more with ridiculous attacks on women who have and people who assist in providing abortions, like in Louisiana, where a Republican subcommittee determined to send a bill forward that would equate an abortion to homicide, something that's already been walked back to just a newly defined misdemeanor charge. So much for small government. Mississippi has been discussing banning contraception for all persons. So much for personal freedom. New Hampshire Republicans are working to block reforms to Black Book laws from the pre-Roe days, banning contraception services for all but married couples. So much for the will of the people. Texas is having individuals stalk women trying to get abortions and go after people who are assisting in critical health care in the hope that they will get paid by the state. So much for the right to privacy. Missouri tries to pass a ban on abortion this year that would exclude ectopic pregnancies from being allowed, meaning women would likely die at the hands of state regulations. So much for family values. This gets really personal for me as well. My child, Taven, while some of you have met in person or in proxy, was born using in vitro fertilization services. It is required because of personal environmental exposure to reproductive system damaging chemicals while living here in this town. This process requires selective reduction for testing and viability, which is something that is one of the most highly oversought and regulated medical subsets in this country. But an overturn of Roe would lead to a roadblock for my wife and I from trying it again. Michigan's 1931 law on abortion bans is total and provides no exceptions. It is what is currently considered a black book law. With the interpretation of states who have been talking about their laws that will be enacted with the decision as it stands from the leak 2 weeks ago, will mean that I will not be able to even attempt to have another child, let alone all the other people affected by the law from the law being triggered. You may say that's ridiculous, that there's no way Michigan would allow that. We currently have a Democratic governor and attorney general who have said they won't do anything to enforce that rule, although local officials will likely try in more conservative areas, I'm sure. But we have an election in November, and if Democrats get caught flat-footed in the down-ballot elections like they did in 2020, I imagine they'll just say, hey, it's the law, and I have experiences to back that up. Last week, I was in Lansing for the Saginaw Valley Henry Marsh Public Policy Institute meeting. I had the afternoon to speak to the head staffer for the Representative Beeson and to speak directly to Senator Daley. I reached out to both offices the week before, but I had not heard back. Representative Beeson's staffer claimed that while Beeson is a moderate on the issue, there was nothing he knew of to protect rights at this time and that he'd get back to me, and I still have not heard back. Senator Daley's direct response, though, absolutely shocked me. He claimed that until it actually becomes a problem, it's not going to be a problem. He didn't seem to understand what fertility services were, which, considering livestock farmers use very rudimentary breeding systems, you think you at least have some knowledge from someone who uses the tagline conservative farmer. In conclusion, hopefully now you understand that the draft decision from the Supreme Court, while primarily about abortion access for women, will catch a lot of other people into the net, as almost half the states are on track to do what was almost unthinkable 10 years ago. I had somebody respond to me online when I talked about it, saying that I should just go somewhere else for services. Nobody, anywhere in this country, should be forced to move or travel to receive access to fundamental health services. This is a step that doesn't even go to the cost of obtaining services in this country, which is just a pathetic state for a place that claims to be the land of the free. Anyone who claims that the political right in America has not moved further toward authoritarianism is ignorant to the facts of our existence. People who aren't speaking up about it are culpable to the oppression of the masses and the 70% of Americans who are considered pro-choice. Thank you.